Tonight's top 7 is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction because it isn't a good top 7. It's the top 7 worst Disney hotels. So these are hotels, we're trying to rank them in order to the absolute worst. Number 1 will be the worst Disney hotel. And so the way this works, we have 7 panelists. Each of them get 1 pick. And then at the end, we all argue about the order of those 7.
Yeah.
Joining me, obviously, Nick. Wolf just got here.
Yeah.
He hasn't been here at all tonight.
No.
You got to put on your mic.
Hello.
There you
It's
go.
on. It's camouflage.
Eric Morton's here.
Hello, everybody.
Do we have the remote people there? Jason Diffendahl there.
Hey, howdy, hey!
Where are you?
Autopia.
In front of Space Mountain Concept Art.
Oh. It just looks
I
like
have
you're in
this
a
on my
pink
wall.
tunnel.
No, I painted this on my wall during the shutdown, coronavirus.
I like it.
Whatever
Lots
it
of
was.
painting. It's great.
Oh. He's growing in the Santa beard. It's almost time. almost ready.
He's like Tim Allen.
He is turning into Santa, though.
I mean, the people are hiring. It's the season.
Socially distanced Santa
I can
greeting.
get you a job.
You sit on like a mannequin's lap at 8 feet away.
That's right.
Yeah. Jessica Figueroa, our editor-in-chief, is here.
Hello.
She showered for this.
I showered. I am.
Oh,
I
you
am
did get the
fresh.
shower in. Okay. We couldn't tell.
Yes.
8 hours ago, she writes, if I can find time to shower, I'll be on the air. And Jason's like, their show's in 7 hours.
You have 7 hours to shower. I'm like,
He
no,
doesn't realize how hard it is to run this site. So thank you, Jessica, for being here. Marcy Smith. Hello, Marcy.
Hello.
It's been a long time. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay, so this is the top 7 worst Disney resort hotels. I'm going to get out my pen. I need my pen.
Now,
Don't touch
here's the question, though. Is the number 1 the absolute worst, or
Yes.
is the number 7 the
About
absolute
3
worst?
minutes ago, I said number 1 was the worst one. You were
Worst,
busy
okay.
making
I
Hot
just
Wheel
wanted to
cars
clarify.
for the children.
Something, yeah.
All right. Marcy, why don't you start us off? What are you picking? Actually, Marcy, I have to tell you, I know what you're going to pick, and you stole mine. This was the one I thought I was going to pick and no one was going to take. And you have it, so go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, this was mine.
You were
and
like
then-
a huge fan.
No, I got handed the list, and I was like, oh, someone took mine. I didn't think anyone was going to take it. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I went with Boardwalk. Boardwalk Inn.
Wow.
Am I supposed to tell you why now, or are we
Yeah,
arguing
no,
later?
we have 2 hours to fill, so it's best if everyone
Okay.
explains why they picked them.
It's the
Sorry,
point, isn't it?
I haven't been on so long that like the last top lists, I had like a list of 7 because I thought I was going to tell you all of my 7. So Dave just filled me in on how this goes. So
And then he covered your door in Mandalorian art.
no, I did that because he had nothing on there. I figured it was better than nothing.
That's amazing.
Okay, so I did make some notes because I wanted to be a little bit prepared. So to me, Boardwalk Inn is the Dino-Land of Epcot Resort area.
Wow.
The pay-per-play games really detract from the overall atmosphere of the entire area. When you're paying $550 per night for a standard view room during value season, I don't want to hear my kids begging me to spend $5 for 1 basketball in a rigged game they're never gonna win anyway. I feel like I'm in New Jersey, when I do that.
Theming.
So another problem I have, yes. So the theming is problematic for me because of where I'm from. It just no, I don't love it. Also, the distance to the rooms, unless you're staying with a water view and you're right on the boardwalk. It took us 25 minutes to get to one of our rooms one time, and it was hideous. And I get lost in those hallways. And honestly, I felt like I was closer to Hollywood Studios. I could have walked out my room and been to Hollywood Studios faster than I could be in the lobby, which to me was kind of ridiculous. Also, the Luna Park pool and the Keister coaster slide, I think the theme is kind of cute, but It's not executed well. I don't love the pool, especially when you have 3-acre Stormalong Bay, like right across Crescent Lake. And I mean, I know that I can't really complain about the clown now because it's gone, but the creepy clown pool, the whole creepy clown thing, like really freaked me out. Like we let the kids go night swimming there one time because they like begged, but I was like, I cannot stay here. I cannot look at that thing in the moonlight. It was freaking me out.
They need to make a horror movie about that slide.
I want to see this.
You could, you really could. The entertainment on the boardwalk, now that Disney's basically like sacked all of the good entertainers, anything that made the boardwalk special is gone. I don't really remember the names of the people that were there, but the magician was really good. The guy that whistled instead of talk was really good. There was also like a balancing act. I don't know if it was Sergio from Italy, but or from France, but he did similar stuff, and that was really special. You know, it's the entertainers, the cast members that make things really special. And now they're no longer there. I'm not sure if Atlantic Dance is still even operating, but I remember we stayed at Boardwalk. I know. Well, that's the thing. Like when we stayed there, we basically poked our heads in to see what it was all about, and there were like 2 really sad Disney bloggers dancing by themselves. Like it was really depressing.
Was it me and Josh?
Probably. I mean, it's great. Like if you're depressed.
Josh and I went on a $5 beer night, and it literally was just us and our dates. And that was it, and the whole place. It was it. And they're playing, there's a DJ and the music and the lights, and we're just all sitting at one table in the corner. That was the whole night at Atlantic Dance, yeah.
Yeah. If you're going through a midlife crisis and you're depressed, then it's a good place to go.
I can't wait.
Wow, thanks, Marcy.
Well, not you necessarily. I wouldn't say you're midlife yet, but so the dining, we did go to Flying Fish. Honestly, like if you can't go to a seafood restaurant and get good seafood, there's a problem. Like my fish was terrible.
You
it was
didn't
absolutely
like
terrible.
Flying Fish?
I got fish and it was bad. Dave got a
You
steak
should have
and
got
it
the
was really
steak.
good.
Current Flying Fish or old Flying Fish?
It was Old Flying Fish.
Okay,
It hasn't been
all right.
super recent.
Okay.
So,
I will tell you should go back
at
now.
the time,
well, when it opens.
we will try it again, yeah, when it opens. But at the time, Bonefish Grill was better.
I like Bonefish
And that's
Grill.
sad.
Bonefish Grill's good.
Bonefish Grill is really good.
I'm a fish person, and yeah, bonefish grill is good.
Don't be knocking Bonefish
Well,
Grill.
I do really enjoy seafood, so I was really looking forward to that meal because otherwise, like, I don't really know like a restaurant that's specifically, I mean, besides
Coral Reef.
yeah,
Coral Reef
besides
is
Coral
terrible.
Reef, but even there, like, yeah, that's bad too. So the Big River Grill and Brewing Company, it was just a really loud brewery with mediocre food. It wasn't good. ESPN, I feel like that's like self-explanatory. I could literally go to Times Square. I mean, I'm close to New York City, so I mean, to me, it's like, why would I go to ESPN when I'm in Disney? And it was extremely crowded. Like we went there because we were there with family and they really wanted to go.
Yeah,
but I had
chicken
such
dingers.
a terrible headache.
They have the chicken dingers.
I don't even know if we ate. It was too long of a line. We didn't even eat.
Chicken dingers.
Mm.
I like the dingers.
I haven't tried Trattoria. Well, if we go there, I'll try the
Don't
dingers.
go to Trattoria.
No.
No.
Don't go to Trattoria? Okay.
Remember we did opening night?
Yeah,
Remember
of
that? And we
course I
both
do.
looked at
It's
each other at the
disgusting.
pizza like, this is gross.
Yeah.
It's still that bad. I went since the reopening.
Yeah.
Breakfast is fine. Dinner is Dinner's worse than Olive Garden. Oh,
Wow.
do not.
Ooh, that's
not
bad.
recommend.
I don't know.
So the last thing I want to say then, sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, go
no,
ahead.
let's hear it.
Okay. The last thing I want to say is that basically the only good thing about Boardwalk that I liked was the nighttime entertainment, like the live nighttime entertainment. And I feel like I could still get that and stay at Beach Club, which is, in my opinion, closer to walking distance at Epcot, better dining, better pool, better theme, I think, for myself. I prefer like the beach theme to a boardwalk theme. So I would rather stay there, but those are basically the reasons why I chose Boardwalk.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of landed on everything I was going to have. The only thing I had to add was that I felt like the room, and I've stayed at a lot of rooms since reopening, I think the dingiest and worst room I've stayed in since returning to Walt Disney World was that studio at Boardwalk.
Wow.
I really disliked it. Like, it was the most uncomfortable room. It just, I don't know who did the designing. Like, there's a light hanging from the ceiling that's literally right above the chair at the little table at the pull-down bed, the Murphy bed. So if I stood up from that chair, I'd hit my head on the light. Like, even if you were like 5'8", you'd hit the light. It's very short. It's very low. I don't know.
I like the boardwalk, though. I mean, it's maybe not a great deal, right? And we didn't even mention the creepiest thing, which is not the clown. It's the chairs in the lobby with that weird baby thing. Those are 10 times creepier than the clown.
I
like
so.
it. And the other thing I do like about Boardwalk, though, is it has kind of a vibe. I mean, right now, without the entertainment, it's a little different. But there's a vibe outside at night where you don't get that at a lot of the resorts, where there's live
feels like
entertainers and there's
budget
people
pleasure
walking
island.
around
I
for
don't
no
know.
reason.
It's like budget PI.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the decor, but I could go with the theme. I like
Other
Boardwalk.
than-
It's got a great location.
Flying fish and jelly rolls, and the rest could burn to the ground,
Jelly
and I
rolls.
would not care.
Someone was going to
would
bring
not.
up.
The Bellevue's a good spot.
Oh, I like Bellevue.
Yeah,
It's
Bellevue's
That's
good
fair.
over there, no.
But the rest, just burn it down. Start over. Just build another Riviera. Build a big white hotel. It'd be an improvement. It'd be fine.
I'm kind of like with Eric. I mean, I like Boardwalk, but also I don't really care. Like, it's kind of in the middle for me. But I'm approaching most of this from just visiting, not staying at these resorts. But Boardwalk is one that I like to go to just to walk around. I love Flying Fish. I love even just going to the bar in there. They have great, kind of great small plates, and so it's a great place to eat, I think. And then just the atmosphere walking around, I like it. There's stuff going on. I don't know if we could, with the entertainment gone, yeah, it's a little lackluster, but there's always kind of something to run into and, see there. And I just like walking around the boardwalk. I mean, but I guess you could get that, you could be around that same area from, beach or yacht club. I don't know, but it's kind of middle of the road. I wouldn't say it's the worst, though. Maybe from staying there.
With Jelly Rolls closed, it feels really weird and empty.
Get closer to the mic.
I am close. I am like right here. Like,
I don't think that mic's on.
it is on. It is most definitely on.
Turn up the gain.
No?
That's worse.
The gain's all the way, my friend. The gain is all the way.
Get like a step stool.
I'm on a chair. How do you not? This is so frustrating. Anyway, can I just talk? Will you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
go ahead. Do yours. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm
No,
gonna raise
no.
the
I was
volume.
just gonna say that it's.
Hold
really
on. We're going to
weird
raise the
with-
volume in the studio so we can hear you. All right, go ahead.
With Jelly Rolls closed, it feels really weird. The boardwalk just kind of feels really empty and awkward. I think last time I was staying by Swan, but I was walking over there. I'm like, oh, cute, I'll get to walk around the boardwalk at night, and it'll be so scenic. And it was just like a random couple making out on a bench, which probably wouldn't be that much different if Jelly Rolls were open. But I don't know, it just didn't have the life or like the vibe I expected. That's
Okay.
it.
Well, we'll talk about this more later. Jessica, why don't you go ahead with your pick?
Okay, but just to make sure you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you. We raised your volume on our side. It's fine.
Okay. So my pick, I'm always like the value resort person, but I had to go for a value resort. And it's one that I've been kind of forced to stay at recently a lot because the All-Stars are closed. And that is Pop Century.
Yeah, good.
When when I sent mine in, I'm like, no one took it, right? And she's like, nope, it's all yours. I'm like, good, because I have a long list. Actually, I don't hate Pop Century. Pop Century actually has a lot of nostalgia for me. I remember, we were a value family growing up, so that's
Because you
I
were
remember
born in the
going there when it
50s,
opened.
so like the 50s building just really speaks.
No, like we always stayed at like the All Star. So then once Pop Century opened, it's like, oh, it's a new value, So, and that's pretty much where we stayed until money got good and we got to upgrade to French Quarter, But we were always a value family, and Pop Century, had some appeal. I remember being there as a little kid and just really enjoying all the crazy retro vibes, even back in the days, like old stuff from like the 50s and 60s. But anyway, even then, the nostalgia is still not enough to remedy the current situation at Pop Century. If it was bad before, it's even worse now.
It's worse.
It's Weiss. I mean, the refurb did help it a little bit. I remember staying there near the tail end of right before the refurb, and all the rooms were just super mildewy and just so bad. It was just, there's no way to like remedy the situation.
Now they're
But even
hospital
with the
rooms.
refurb, now they're hospital rooms, and yes, the bed is fine, and you get like 20 pillows. But you still get, housekeeping knocking at your door at like 6 a.m. And you still have like people running around right outside your door. The current situation with like mobile order, that you have to wait to get in and then wait to get your order, it just all feels kind of off kilter. It really ruined the flow of the resort. In general, I just prefer the All-Stars. I can't wait until they open, actually, because those are my preferred place to stay. The theming is just not
slop.
the same. Everything, it's just so depressing. It's so depressing to eat there. And I'm always like, oh, Mickey waffles, whatever. I like to find a silver lining.
Except they're burnt.
Even if I'm like just paying, I don't care. I always just try to find, a positive somewhere, and it's just, you don't find it at Pop Century right now. The Skyliner is great, but like then you have like these super long lines if you even want to get to the park at like a reasonable time. And then there's the issue of price. I think if the values start at $150, we're already starting off at the wrong level. Because $150 for like that quality of a resort, you don't have any breakfast included, you don't have late checkout, you don't have a lot of amenities that pretty much every other place that charges that much has. It just feels preposterous. There's no value to it. Lately I have been staying a lot at Cabana Bay, and I think that's a good like apples to apples comparison. You have, one retro-ish resort, one like retro, more like mid-century modern resort, but they're both kind of going for the same vibe more or less. And one of them just executes it so much better, like Cabana Bay. It's just, you're really immersed in that feeling, whereas now
one of them
in
picked a
Pop
particular
Century,
decade and went all in on it, which was the right idea.
Right.
They learned from Pop Century's mistake, which was, oh, we'll do all the decades, which the idea should have been like, oh, 60s has cool architecture and cool furniture style and, the Googie and all that, and we should just go with that was the right decision. Yeah.
It's a lot newer too. I mean,
It is. They learned from Pop's mistakes.
It is.
They had the benefit of learning from those mistakes.
But yeah, being able to stay at another similarly themed resort with many more amenities for $100 a night compared to $150 for everything slop, it's just the worst resort. It's not something I would recommend to people. I'd probably recommend you stay off property than stay at Pop Century at this point. Or even
if I
Art
go
of
that far,
Animation,
but-
now that it's open.
I like art. Mermaid rooms with discount are pretty decent. It's a little more than Pop,
Yeah,
but I
mermaid
think
rooms
they
are
feel
cute.
nice. They feel much nicer than the hospital rooms.
I'll say
The hospital rooms of, Go
I
ahead.
Googled a picture of my old barracks at Camp Lejeune, and it looks identical to Pop Century except the paint job. So if you look up at Camp Lejeune barracks, it was 2nd Radio Battalion, maybe it's in there. Look at it.
Wow.
put it right next to a picture of Pop Century. It's a paint job away from being the same structure.
Disney's
And
military
it's not to say
resort.
the cast members there are great. The cast members in all of the resorts are pretty great, you know. But it's just really just the building, the amenities, the feeling that you get when you're there. It's just not good.
All right. Jason Diffendahl.
So, sticking with the theme of value resorts, I picked All-Star Music.
Oh no! How dare you!
All-Star Music.
This wasn't my first pick, but my first pick was taken.
What was your first pick?
All-Star Sports.
All-Star Sports.
That was actually my number one too, Jason.
The reason that I picked All-Star Music actually has little to do with the hotel itself. I mean, it's fine. It's better in Pop. It's better than Pop in many respects. Like the food court's better. But my problem with All-Star Music is when, back in the day when they used to have like big conventions or music competitions or cheerleading competitions or whatever. What are you laughing at?
What music competition?
Festival Disney?
Like there were
You
music.
mean like the cheerleading and stuff?
Well, there's the cheer stuff, but there was like band competition, like high school band
Oh, yeah,
competitions and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that too. Yeah. And so the problem is when you could book All-Star Music and they wouldn't tell you that the place is going to be overrun by
You
high
only
school
know
kids
once you
without
drove
any
by that group
chaperones.
check-in building. Does everyone know about the group
Yeah.
check-in building? Is that a thing everyone knows? I don't know how many people know this. The All-Stars have a separate building towards the back of the parking lot that is just for big group check-ins, like events. It is its own structure, its own themed building, and all these groups do not go to a lobby to check in. They have to go to this separate hidden building in the back to check in.
That's where they all get issued their national champions jacket.
Yes, right. So my issue is the hotel is actually fine, except for when you go during one of these types of events and the place is overrun with kids, without chaperones. You obviously can't deal with the food court when it's full of kids like that. Transportation is a nightmare when they're all trying to go to because they all go at the same time, right? Like it's not a hotel that is full of families that are all going to different places. It's like hundreds of kids decide to go to the Magic Kingdom all at the same time, and then you've got to deal with it. So as long as you could book the hotel, like now would be fine. I would stay in it now because they're not doing these competition things. But whenever there's a cheer competition or a music competition or whatever, I mean, I don't want it. I don't want my hotel to be overrun with high school kids.
I stayed during
and
a
so,
Pop Warner, and literally they were practicing at like 12 at night. I literally opened the door, and I can't repeat what I said. But I screamed at them, and like the coach, I think like the coach or something woke up and was like, "Kids, get the Bruin back in here." It was quite the scene. And then I think someone like down like three floors down was clapping. It was quite the night. Quite the night.
It's a value experience.
I mean, to me, that's their audience. That's why those resorts exist.
Right.
Are for the Pop Warner.
Exactly.
And the
They
cheer
needed it.
team
It was
that
a
crams
need,
6 girls in one room. And
No, that was the college housing.
I've seen that one.
yeah, sorry, that was
resort
Vista
is
Way.
this again?
Yeah.
Let me write this.
This is Vista Way. Disney.
But I mean-
Vista
I
Way
mean,
Resort.
Check that one out.
I know those are like Nick's favorite resorts when they have the cheerleader competitions and stuff.
I don't know
But
what you're complaining about here. Get the van right down there.
Oh my god.
and so like normally I would stay at Pop. I would stay at Pop and avoid the All Stars, but then Pop got the Skyliner, and now Pop is more expensive. So if you want the cheapest resorts, it's going to be one of the All-Stars, and that, I think, ropes a lot of people into staying there because they're looking for the cheapest, and the rooms are the same size and everything, and all the amenities are the same, so they'll pick the cheaper one, and then they get stuck with all these kids, and it's a nightmare. So that's
Disney
why I
World.
picked All-Star. Well,
But you get the McDonald's
I mean,
in the corner.
that's fine. I can get there from other places, too.
Jessica's
I mean, you
life is
kinda
just a
have to go to
series
that
of
McDonald's.
Interstitial events that just are between McDonald's visits.
You kind of,
I
I
know,
mean,
dude, after
when
10
the kids
o'clock,
are overrunning
after
the
10
food
o'clock,
court, you
there's
have to
nothing
go to
to
the
Can't hear what she's
McDonald's.
saying. She's too low.
Yeah. After 10 o'clock, there's nothing to eat at Pop Century.
You mean
all.
at
Like,
Disney
you just have
World?
to-
Because I just feel like in all of Disney World, there's nothing to eat after like 10, 11
I remember
o'clock.
walking over and I'm like, I hope there's something.
There's
And
nothing to
people,
do
like,
at all.
eating out of like cardboard boxes, and like everyone's just angry and confused, and there's nothing to eat, and it was just horrible. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I could really use a recently renovated McDonald's right now.
With an exercise bike, perhaps. Jason, do you have more points for All-Star Music?
That's pretty much about it.
Okay. Who's left? We got lots.
Can I
left.
add something about All-Star Music?
Sure.
I really
It's only going to be a
miss
3-hour
the
show. Go ahead.
Non-refurbished rooms. I stayed in a non-refurbished room last year in August for the annual pass holder previews for Galaxy's Edge, and it was just like what was left. But it was so nice being in an actually themed room again. And the AC wasn't like rigged, so you can put it really cold in the room.
My biggest problem with the
there's something to be said
All-Star.
about those.
Oh, go ahead.
No, nothing. Besides the AC, the Wi-Fi sucked, but
Yeah.
everything else is actually really cute and quaint and nostalgic, and I kind of resent the remodel for that after experiencing that.
Yeah, I know people go on and on about the All-Star and Pop. Oh, they're so much nicer. All the rooms are the same now. They used to be different by building. Like what I liked about Pop was you had different art on the wall. It's just a poster, but still made a difference. Like every time you stayed, you're like, oh, cool, the poster. Look what's on the poster this time. And then for the All-Stars, at least, like, oh, there's sports things. Oh, there's music things. Oh, there's movie things. Now it's just like generic character art. You cool. Here's the Huey, Dewey, and Louie dreaming about the 3 themes of the different hotels. We only had enough money for one art.
That
We
little
just don't have
courtyard by the
money.
jazz
It's very
section?
expensive to have someone do a different piece of art. He's got to do each one by hand. You want him to do different ones? I'm joking. It's a plastic board. Wolf, why don't you go ahead?
So I picked All-Star Sports.
I sense a theme.
I know this group well, and I know that All Stars was gonna be on the list anyways. But yeah, sports out of music and movies. Yeah, no sports. Like what? Like no one. I feel like no one cares. It's like
I don't like
know,
sports.
The pools are themed like very just
I have a sentimental attachment to sports.
sports. Like
We stayed at the opening. Oh, and also I have a lot of good memories. I love the baseball building. I just love that layout with the pool that looks like the diamond, and then like the layout with the grandstands for the
Yeah.
buildings. Kind of like that.
I don't like man. Everyone likes something. I don't like All-Star Sports. Everything like Jason said and like Fig said about both of those resorts, like true, like yeah. But yeah, no, I just think again, out of all 3, yeah, just sports. I feel like it could have been another theme.
I love the.
That's
the-
my that's
Again, you got to go with who are they attracting? Pop Warner teams and
Right. I just always
people that
feel
are
like
going
the,
to all
like the full
wide world of
football
sports.
field that you said the
Yeah.
big X's and O's on
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah, I think the theming
Yeah, I mean-
outside of these rooms is okay. I think it's probably the genericness of the rooms, the lack of food, the lack
Yeah.
of,
the food's pretty
amenities,
bad.
the price, I guess.
Food's pretty bad.
But I feel like the theming in
I mean, the
music
reason
and
that I
movies
I
is
had
better, like,
I had sports first. I had sports first because of everything that I said about music, really. But then, like Eric said, there's not there's plenty of music tie-ins to Disney, and there's plenty of movies tie-ins to Disney. But it's really kind of a stretch to tie in sports to Disney. I mean, you've got like the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, it's
They
not-
own ESPN.
Yeah, but that's
Wide World of
Yeah,
Sports.
right.
That's who's bringing
Angels
over
But if
the
that
big
was an ESPN, if that was an
Mighty Ducks.
ESPN
there was
themed
Mighty Ducks
hotel,
stuff there, right?
I said
There
the
is
Mighty
Mighty
Ducks.
Ducks at
It's
sports,
Actually,
or was that
the
at
Mighty
movies?
Ducks are
Oh,
at
is that at
All-Star
movies?
Movies. The Mighty
Ducks is
are-
at movies.
They're kind of all indistinguishable.
See, so
to
it
me.
doesn't even
I
make
know, like, that was
sense.
such a weird
They
choice.
could have, but they decided
I was
not
so
to.
confused.
There's not. Well, I mean, the sports are really generic sports, right? Like it's just like footballs and baseballs. It's not
racquetball
Disney related.
I'm staying squash
Table
103.
tennis. I'm staying in table tennis 8.
I mean,
Hockey 14.
I'm in a preferred
No, you
view
want, like-
lacrosse room. I'm in a-
like bocce and you want all that stuff. You don't want just
at the
generic
bocce ball
football
pool,
and
come find
baseball.
me.
Yeah.
I do polo. At least Vicky played that once.
Right. I mean, like they could have like luge and bobsled and
The room is in
everything.
luge
It's
for.
surf. They have a surf section. That's-
Yeah, I do have surf, and
But
surf
I
is
don't
cool.
know.
It has a the surf one has the fake boardwalk along the pool side.
Yeah, we just talked about Boardwalk. No one likes Boardwalk. So
Yeah, but this one doesn't have like bad third-party food vendors selling you fried ice cream, and someone trying to make Marcy spend $5 on basketball.
Because there's nothing
Yeah,
on
no.
this
Oh my
Boardwalk.
gosh.
I'd rather have something on my Boardwalk. I don't know. So, you know.
I like that boardwalk because when you go with your luggage, it just goes. It's fun.
Oh, if you're gonna stay at a resort with like giant icons, I'd rather have giant icons that have something to do with Disney.
Yeah, like I'm at Disney.
I don't want to.
Yes, bingo!
My
Bingo!
Yeah,
Thank
I mean-
you.
Yeah, like Rubik's cube
Bowling pin.
and 8-track.
Well, that's why that one's also on the list.
Yeah, a big
exactly.
yo-yo.
Pop Century's
When
also
I
on the
was a
bad
boy,
list.
I had the yo-yo.
It's so lame.
got Roger Rabbit
It lost
over there,
its
right?
charm so
Yeah.
quickly.
I stayed near Roger last
You
night.
see, even for that resort, they were like, "Hey,
There's also
we
a
can tie something in."
Yeah, but there's then a computer with the date set to like 1998, and it has .go.com on it.
Oh no.
Needed shortcuts back then, kids.
She has no idea what you're talking. Lauren's like, what?
Go Network.
What? What's go.com?
Network. Club Penguin.
Do you have more points for sports?
Nah, that's it.
No.
It just sucks.
Morton, what do you got?
I'm going out to California for Paradise Pier.
Oh,
They took an existing hotel, like a Japanese hotel that someone else built, slapped some decals on it,
Yeah.
and called it a Disney hotel. That's a joke. Come on.
right.
And
Can
the
I
rooms
say
are cheesy.
something?
They have the worst pool of any. Well,
That's fair.
Yeah, the worst pool of any Disney resort.
That's fair.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. It's
they should retheme
like a Howard
this to Toy
Johnson's pool.
Story. You didn't hear that from me? Please continue before I get sued.
Stop.
No, and then it has a couple things going for it. It has a great view of the park on one side, and the other side, barren parking lot, parking garage, and like a postage stamp pool. That look, you expect to see Cousin Eddie like walking around in a wife beater and like leopard speedo with his flippers on. I don't know. It's not a Disney. It's not a Disney hotel, right? They slapped some decals.
I wish
They
I had stayed at
Chapek
Santa
would
Fe
love
so
this
we
idea.
can throw some Paris into this conversation, but I haven't stayed at
Yeah,
Santa Fe
yeah.
yet.
Well, I haven't
But I
been
think
to
Santa
Paris, so-
Fe could beat Paradise Pier. I think we could.
Yeah.
I think we could beat you. Maybe we'll just call in some French people right now to be on this segment.
We need to dial up Francois
Get
Fromage.
Axel.
Actually,
on
someone go get Axel.
Get
Bertrand
Axel.
Flume.
Santa Fe is much worse. Santa
See,
Fe, I saw a
I
dead
love
body.
trash.
In Norway for 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, they
No,
put their
it-
cowboy hat on it. It was themed.
But I mean, the rooms look. I mean, you could be in a Radisson somewhere. You could, it's.
Controversially, I know it's junky and terrible. I had a
I
really
love
nice stay at the
trash.
Paradise Pier Hotel. Having the view over Paradise Pier at night, fixed Paradise Pier, so like post 2010. I watched World of Color one night from my room, and I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool with the city, because not all the Disney parks have like a city backdrop, because obviously Disney World has all this space. There is something cool about this, like this nighttime water lagoon show happening and all these boardwalk lights in the midst of like this big cityscape. So staying on like a higher floor there is just kind of cool, but I could see why if you didn't have a good view, I would never stay there in a million years.
Right.
Yeah. The room was junky for sure, but there was that lamp with Mickey on the lifeguard chair. It's a really cool lamp.
Original art.
They still have it. It's
Yeah,
Mickey in the
like,
lifeguard chair. It's super cute. We have photos on the site somewhere.
Do they still do the little like beach ball pillow?
Actually, I filmed.
did
No,
they,
it
like,
changed
take that
to
out 'cause
it
people, like,
changed
kept
to a
taking
Luxo
those?
ball.
So ball.
Yeah.
Oh, lame.
Actually, if you watch one of the early news todays, I did it from that room, and I have both the lamp. I think I have the ball with me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
See,
Google that
I love
pool.
trash.
The pool,
My goal.
the pool alone is
pool's
like,
terrible.
come on,
That's a
Disney,
bad
do
pool.
better. You bought some hotel off of somebody else.
Yeah, you
and
just put some
decorate it.
giant
Like,
toys around
put a
it or
put a
something.
pool in. This looks like a pool in like a McMansion yard. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
the rich kids in my school had pools that were nicer than this.
Wow.
Or Paradise Pier. Nick.
Not my school.
So, as I said, I took the approach because I don't really stay at the Walt Disney World hotels. I went from the approach of which ones I like to spend time at or the least. And I went with Saratoga Springs. I feel from, well, right.
What
but
about your goddamn flatbread?
well, I can make it myself, and I don't even know if they have it anymore.
They still have it.
They still have it? And
Yeah.
I'm going tomorrow.
Did you change your
No.
pick?
No, this is what I put down. Why, what do you got there? I didn't put anything else. Lauren,
Where's my list? I lost my list.
verify me.
He got
All right.
nervous.
Oh, in there?
So,
Never mind.
from a, like, going to spend time there as just a visitor, it is one of the more boring hotels. And, you know, I unless I'm missing something, it has one of the most boring pool areas, has one of the most boring lobbies. Well, you like the pool area?
The one with the race slide? Where you come out of like the holding pens for the horses?
What?
There's
Okay.
a spiral slide that comes out of a water tower where you then emerge from like the starting pens for the horses in the race.
Eh.
That pool is cute.
pool's not-
And the Paddock Grill is excellent, by the way.
Is it really?
I like Paddock Grill. We should go sometime.
All right, I'll go. I didn't even know there was a paddock grill. So
See, you've been to the other pool. I don't like the other pool either. I like the pool out by the Paddock
Okay.
buildings, which is
All right.
kind of far, but
Maybe I'm missing
Yeah.
out. See, this is what I said. Maybe I'm missing out. You could prove me wrong. I don't mind wanting to like the Saratoga Springs, but it's I mean I have no reason to ever visit there. Like, you know, these other ones that we mentioned, like Boardwalk, I'm gonna go there. I go there often because I go around the Boardwalk. You know, all the sports, music, and pop. I mean, they at least have some neat things to kind of look at there. But I mean, they were already taken also. So
Yeah.
Saratoga, but Saratoga Springs, I just find it boring to visit, and just you know, maybe there's a good place to eat.
Yeah.
My eyes can be open, but I'm not really a big fan of eating there either.
It's
I get that.
well, the Turf Club is, you know, it's a good place to grab a drink. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you're so close to Disney Springs now if you're down on that one side. The thing about Saratoga Springs that kind of stinks is it's got like 14 bus stops. So you come back tired at the end of the night and you're like, you know, it takes you 15 minutes from coming in the gate. But Tom's room, like we went there a while
Yeah,
back
that
and
was a
Tom
nice
had a room and they had
The new one.
redone it. It was beautiful.
Which you can
Absolutely
tour right here
beautiful.
on YouTube, that 2-bedroom
Yeah.
villa, which was super cool. Yeah. We had a great view of Springs, too.
Well, so that's the thing,
But
is
the
it-
thing is, Saratoga does feel, it kind of feels like poor man's Old Key West. Old Key West is right
Yeah,
next
yeah.
door, and I think it's so much cuter
Yeah.
and more pleasant. The food's better. Olivia's is
Oh,
great. The
100
the
million
bar
times.
is great. Even good food to go, or goods food, whatever the hell that name of the thing is. The counter service is good.
Goods
I like
food
the
to
pool.
go.
I like Old Key. Yeah, it's sitting next to Old Key West
is
hurts
fantastic.
Saratoga. Yeah.
It is nice to be able to walk to Disney Springs, though. I mean,
It is.
You're down on that end.
Yeah, but then you might also. One time I stayed there and I was literally the room closest to the security booth.
Oh.
That was pretty lame. Yeah.
Is it nice to say? Is it a good value and all, or I don't even know.
Point-wise, probably, compared to most. I mean, if you want a nice 2-bedroom now that it's remodeled, it's probably
I mean,
one of the better DVC deals.
Old Key West is the best value.
Is Saratoga more than
Old Key West is the best value. Yeah, Old Key West has bigger rooms and it's slightly less points,
they're the
but Saratoga
biggest.
is the second best
Yeah.
value.
Old Key West are the biggest,
So-
bar none, aren't they? Because
They
were
are.
first built. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I love Old Key West. I'm an Old Key West fanboy now. All right.
Tom?
There was a couple. Obviously, movies wasn't picked, but I don't really hate I don't hate the All Stars. I think they're good at what they are, and it's good that Walt Disney World is accessible to people in that price range. And I thought about other stuff, and Spencer wrote, and he's like, "Why did you pick the Celebration Hotel?" And I was like, "No, I had a really good stay there, and I think for the price, I paid less than people paid for a value room here at Walt Disney World. It was about $120 US. And I thought the room was cute. I thought the hotel was cute. Our breakfast was pretty good. So I didn't want to pick that one. I want to pick somewhere I stayed recently that I just think they kind of ruined, because this was actually a resort I really loved. And that's Coronado Springs. They ruined Coronado Springs. Number one, the people behind La Hacienda and all of that, they do a fine job at Epcot. Their restaurants in Coronado have always been trash. We ate at Rick's the other day. It was inedible. It was junk. The service was also terrible. It's now Rick's Sports Bar. They gave them generic costumes, and I hate it. Thank God Maya Grill is closed. They ruined Pepper Market. They took all the statues out of Pepper Market, and now it looks like a college lunchroom. It's terrible. And then they painted everything muted colors. It's beautiful grounds. Like, I love like the casitas, like the views out of those little the green spaces in between. This gorgeous layout they did. And they painted everything this muted beige and brown and gold, and it used to be this colorful, beautiful campus. And it just looks so monochromatic. I hate it. I hate what they did. It's a shame. There's a couple of good food spots. I like Dahlia. Dahlia has great drinks and good food. Toledo, when it was open, don't get the entrees, but the tapas were great. And then Three Bridges is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Three Bridges. But in this resort, Maya Grill still exists. Rick's still exists. The layout is idiotic now. They've moved check-in to Gran Destino, which leads this 40 miles of dead building space. There's this big long hallway thing they built, which leads to the old check-in, was just abandoned. It's 400 sofas just down a giant hallway to get to the shop and more dining. Like, who does this benefit? Like, if I'm sitting at Gran Destino, I gotta walk all the way down there to go to the store? Like, what? This wasn't thought out. Why didn't you just knock down the old lobby and build the tower there? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Also, Gran Destino Tower. Sorry about this. These are overpriced because they're in a tower. This is not better. These rooms are terrible. I could hear every word of a normal level conversation the people in the room next to us were having. It was terrible. I just sat there awkwardly, like, I don't want to know about your personal life. Please stop. Sir, the door is very thin. Please stop. The hallways, you could hear everything going on in the hallways. We've been through it a million times how they designed the bathroom wrong, and there's a towel rack in the toilet room that locks off from the shower. So the towels aren't even within reach of the shower. The rooms are muted and boring, and they ruined the rooms out in the other buildings too. This used to be a really great moderate resort, and in typical modern Disney fashion, they have muted it and killed its theme, and I don't like it. I don't like it. They don't even know what the theme is anymore. Salvador Dali wasn't from Mexico.
Right.
He was from Spain.
So the Old Coronado. So the Old Coronado is like the start of colonization, and then I go into like a weird tangent on it in my review because I like analyzed how it's like pre-colonial and then post-colonial, and then they're like inadvertently like saying that like the old Coronado is lesser than like the new and more sophisticated Grandisino after the European influence. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking
Very
now.
sophisticated, yeah. Very sophisticated look. Yeah, 4 mirrors on one wall. Very sophisticated. Yeah. I don't know where whoever, I hope in the 28th, this is going to sound mean. I hope the interior designer of the last like several Disney resorts no longer makes resorts for them, because the rooms just, everything feels like a Hyatt. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everything being a Hyatt. Like, do something creative. Be interesting. It's who you are. You're not Hyatt. You're not Hilton. You're not these people. You separated yourself by doing something different from these people. So don't do what they do. Be different, you know? But anyway.
We really like the pool, though.
The pool is cool.
We like the dig site and the
Yeah.
Mayan ruins pool.
People,
and we
people
did really
swear
like
on siestas, the pool bar.
Yeah.
If you see in
we
the
also
first
really
two
like how
buildings,
there
it's really
were
nice.
sorry, there were hammocks like right outside our room, so we
Yeah.
would go out and lay on the hammocks and like watch the sun go down I mean, we did go before all of the renovations, like the
Yeah.
crazy renovations. So we haven't been since then, but when we stayed there, we stayed very close to the pool, and it was just really, really pretty. It was very spread out, but the walk was really beautiful in it, and the views, and it was just really nice. Like, it was one of our favorite moderates to stay at.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I loved Coronado before. I don't know, just my recent stay, I was like, I really don't like this. This doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. You know, obviously we loved our club level stay last year. That was great, but it's club level. It's hard to not enjoy club level. Yeah. All right, so we have our 7 3 hours later. So let's put them in order. So the 7 are Boardwalk Inn, Pop Century, All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, Paradise Pier, Saratoga Springs, and Coronado Springs. All the springs and all the All-Stars are here. So what's our number 7? What is the one we think least deserves to be on this list?
Boardwalk.
Yeah, I'd say Boardwalk.
I don't
Paradise
agree with
Pier.
that. Wow.
Paradise Pier or
No,
sports?
Paradise Pier is cute.
I vote sports.
I'd vote for sports.
2 for sports.
So you think sports is better than Boardwalk or Saratoga Springs?
For its price, yes.
We're not asking for its price. We said the worst Disney hotel.
No, but you can't. That's
Price factors
elitist
into
to
that.
say a moderate is automatically better than a value because you can afford to go to a moderate, right? It has to succeed at what its goal is, which the goal is to be enjoyable for the price you paid. Like that, isn't that how everyone judges a resort hotel, right? It's generally,
Well, like
was
I
it
said,
worth the value of staying? But I guess we
really
can go
hard
based
to
on the
do that.
amenities
Right.
too. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think in fairness, it has to succeed at its particular goal. I think it's unfair to be like, well, All-Star Sports isn't as good as the restaurant with or the hotel with the signature dining. I feel like that's kind of unfair.
I think it's hard for me to distinguish the All-Stars from one another. You know, I don't know that one has separated itself from the pack as superior to the other. I mean, if you think you look, you know, you've stayed at
you
all
have
these
not
places a lot more than me.
What it's Jessica saying?
No, I'm like, if you have not like taken in each individual vibe of the All Stars and the Valley Resorts, and you have not
The
enjoyed enough
garlic knots
stays
are
at
just
the
very
values.
different from All-Star to All-Star. I find. I miss Bus Stop Pizza, by the way.
Oh my God, I remember Bus Stop
There's a video
Pizza.
here on YouTube.
Yes.
If you don't know what Bus Stop Pizza is, you should look up Bus Stop Pizza.
Bus Stop Pizza.
That was a great night. And they took tables in Wonderland. That was cool. What's number 6? We got to figure this out. Boardwalk, is that what everyone wants? Boardwalk?
Yeah.
Sure.
I vote
Everyone's
Boardwalk.
with Boardwalk. All right, fine. I'll give you all your Boardwalk. Fine. All right, number 7 is Boardwalk. What's number 6?
I think Saratoga Springs
Pop
has really
Century.
good amenities, good location. The remodel's been great. I used to dislike Saratoga Springs, but I like it more now.
That's fair.
I've never stayed there just because I already know that I'm not gonna like it. It just seems so like boring and I don't know.
I like my 2-bedroom, but I also only paid for a studio.
It's a good deal.
Like,
Hashtag
weird flex,
hosted.
but okay.
Unofficially,
Maria
though,
got you in.
it's an upgrade. They definitely didn't look at the name and were like, "Oh, we're gonna give him a 2-bed. It's remodeled. He should. We could post pictures of it." That never happens.
So I'm definitely not fighting for mine to be number 1, but I also don't think it's number 6. I think Coronado is number 6 for me.
No, I think Saratoga's better than Coronado. I didn't hear the people next to me at Saratoga.
Oh.
I like privacy is very
well,
important in a hotel room.
But Dahlia does help for me. Dahlia
Dahlia's great.
and Three Bridges.
You ever
in
had a mint
particular.
julep from the restaurant?
Coronado
at
is
Saratoga,
not the
though.
worst hotel on this
Yeah,
list.
from the Turf Club.
It's a good julep.
Yeah.
Comes in the julep glass. They have a
Yeah.
julep cup.
It also has a
metal
golf
cup.
course.
Does have the golf course. It's also close.
It
to
has
Wait,
golf
I
course.
forget.
It has
So we
water
are voting
taxi.
for
You
the
can walk to
worst
Springs.
You know what
you can-
Coronado's close to?
Yeah, number one's gonna be the
Nothing.
worst.
Nothing. Yeah.
No, right?
It's close to property control.
We're voting
One is
for
the worst.
right. One is
Close to Winter
Coronado should be
Summerland.
next.
Winter
then.
Summerland. Yeah.
I think Saratoga's better. I think Saratoga's number 6. Who agrees?
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine. Yep.
Saratoga's
Good with
number
that.
6. All right, number 5.
Coronado then.
No.
Coronado.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Has the,
really not that
out of
bad,
all the
especially at
contenders, has the best
Christmas?
restaurants,
How many
right?
people want Coronado?
Yes.
Never been there.
Coronado's fine.
You've been to Dahlia with us.
Oh, was that place?
Yeah.
Wow.
Granadestino Tower.
Okay, I like that place.
Oh, fine. You could have your Coronado.
Sorry.
You guys
I
are
like
the
that.
worst.
If you get like a
don't stay at
building one
resorts.
casitas,
I think it should be
it's
Paradise
easier.
Pier.
Number 4. Number 4.
Paradise Pier.
I agree with that.
Paradise
Worst,
Pier,
worst
yes.
pool of
That's
any
fine.
resort.
Yep.
You
Not
already
a,
lost.
not a
5 people
Disney
said
built resort.
Paradise Pier.
Oh, you're killing me.
We don't have
but
time.
what
I'm gonna
other-
get
what
a Howard
other
Johnson
There's
to
no
put a Mickey
time.
Mouse on it, and that's
After
gonna.
Tom told me about
If
that
you go to
view,
California for
get
the
it. That's a
pool,
cool view.
Pixar Pier
why
now.
would
It's
you
your
go to
thing.
California
you know,
for a
like, come on.
pool?
You love
You
your
can look from
decals.
your decaled
What
hotel
other
down to the
resort
decaled
overlooks-
pier.
Hey, I don't mind.
It's a decal paradise.
All right, what's number 3?
Music.
I'm okay with
Pop.
that.
No, yeah, music is the best one.
Yeah.
How many
Music,
music?
yeah,
We have
it's
4
fine.
musics? Yeah, music.
Yeah. Music.
Number 2.
Sports.
Pop.
Pop Century.
Sports.
Pop.
No.
Pop.
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 Pop
I am
Century.
not letting everything
No, wait,
slip
Pop
and
Century's
win.
number 1.
win this.
I think Pop is better than the old.
It's
It's the
fine. I don't
worst.
care.
Who thinks that the
Either way.
All-Star is worse than Pop Century?
I do.
think that the All-Star.
Yeah.
No, wait,
Me.
no. I
Worse than
think
Pop?
Worse than
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially sports.
So with
Yes.
2 people, anyone from the
No.
remote people?
Sports is
It's
fine.
it's worse. Sports is worse.
I think that sports is worse than pop.
Oh.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
four.
Have you eaten
No.
and
Sports
everything
is worse.
slopped? Because I
Four.
feel like that would change your mind.
No. Yes.
I once
that's a
had
good point.
clams
You know-
from
Or-
everything slop.
I'm thinking
Clams
about
Casino.
the
Well,
theme.
that was a mistake.
Y'all know.
The hell were you
the
thinking?
theme, and you also have the Skyliner.
Yeah, but the Skyliner's a mess every morning because
The
of
Skyliner's a hot
but
mess.
There's an option.
No,
on the
I don't know. I
Skyline.
have like
There's
weird
no option on
nostalgia.
All-Star
Like,
except the bus.
That's like if your car's exploded and you're like,
I
we
don't
could
know, I
take
just
the
drive,
car.
bro.
The car went off a cliff.
Well,
We
so-
could take the car.
Good.
At this
But
point, I
Pop has
just
its own
Uber
bus
everywhere.
as
Yeah.
well.
Nah.
The All Stars have to share a bus, which is worse.
All right.
Yeah.
How many people want Pop Century's
No.
number 2?
Pop
Me.
Century and,
Me.
Marcy, and
Art of Animation
Dave.
have
All
to
right.
share a
it's,
bus.
it's
sometimes.
decided. We can't win, Jess.
Did I win this?
With sports?
I have very fond memories of playing in that football field at All Star Sports, and it is
Same.
not the worst one in this list.
With no Disney characters, that's
So the-
fine. You
the
can, you can
countdown
do it at
is-
any other resort.
Huey
For the,
Dewey and
worst,
Louie
for
are
the
there.
award of worst hotel at Walt Disney World, number 7, the Boardwalk. Number 6, Saratoga Springs. Number 5, Coronado. Number 4, Toy Story Paradise Pier. Number 3, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Number 3, music. Number 2, Pop Century, and number 1, this makes me sad, All Star Sports.
I won!
So sad.
Yeah.
You know what you get?
He
You
won.
get this wrapper from a Reese's Pump.
You get a free night at All Star Sports.
Right now, go over. They're waiting
Amen.
for you.